you live from Nairobi, Kenya. This is TV 47 Weekend. To our top picks this evening. Tonight, days after Deputy President's graft case was dropped, the Kenya Kwanza leadership has called for more cases that were allegedly politically instigated to be dropped.
Kuondolea Rigathi Gachagua kesi haijatosha. Wale watu yote mliwekelea makesi, muende mtoe hiyo makesi.
While at the same time saying they will support an independent judiciary. Also tonight, Nairobi City County Governor Johnson Sakaja says he plans to engage the newly appointed Inspector General of Police, Japheth Koome, to tackle the growing cases of insecurity in the city.
Na naambia vijana wangu, tafadhali wachaneni na hiyo mambo ya kupiga watu ngeta, kudunga watu visu, wachaneni na hiyo, mtaumia. We are very serious. There must be order in Nairobi.
And in our special feature tonight, we highlight the plight of those hardest hit by Kenya's worst drought in 4 decades.
Pesa imekuwa shida kupata, hata ukipeleka kwa soko hakuna kitu unapata. Unauza mbuzi 300, 500.
Mbesa is on the sign language docket. My name is Stanley Nyuringita. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, President William Ruto, in a message to the judiciary, reiterated that his Kenya Kwanza government will not interfere in its operations. The president stating that the arm of government was independent and that should remain the case while undertaking its responsibilities. His deputy Rigathi Gachagua calling on the Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecutions to drop all allegedly politically instigated cases. Mwege William with that report.
Days after the court allowed the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions application to drop a corruption-related case against the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, the head of state, William Ruto, has weighed in on the matter of judicial independence, saying that his government will not interfere with its operations.
Mambo ya kupigana na ufisadi. Na ndio sababu nilichukua hatua yangu ya kwanza kusema we must not interfere with the judiciary.
While attending a Thanksgiving service at the ASK Kabarnet grounds in Baringo County, President Ruto pointed out on the importance of the independence of institutions in the country while undertaking their constitutional mandates.
And we must give the judiciary the space ya kukabiliana na jukumu yao ya kuhakikisha kwamba wanaamua vizuri hasa katika vita ya ufisadi. Na ndio sababu vile vile nimesema institution ya police wawe na pesa zao, waweze kupigana na ufisadi bila ya kuulizwa maswali ama kuuliza ruhusa kwa mtu yeyote.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on his part took up issues with the ODPP, calling on the Public Prosecutor's Office to drop all charges and active matters in court which were allegedly politically instigated by the previous regime.
Kuondolea Rigathi Gachagua kesi haijatosha. Wale watu yote mliwekelea makesi, muende mtoe hiyo makesi. Kwa sababu ni makosa kubwa sana kutafutia watu makosa kwa sababu ya msimamo wao wa kisiasa.
Earlier, the Milimani Anti-Corruption Court Thursday morning granted an application filed by the ODPP seeking to withdraw graft charges against Rigathi Gachagua and 9 others in a 7.4 billion shillings graft case, with Gachagua maintaining that the matter was politically driven.
Serikali yetu ya William Ruto haitapita hiyo barabara. Na tumemwambia hao polisi, hakuna siku tutapigia nyinyi simu muangaishe fulani kwa sababu ya msimamo wake. Wacha kila mtu akuwe na msimamo wake wa kisiasa.
Mwege William, TV 47.
And at the same time, President William Ruto has said his administration plans to construct 100 large dams in the country to boost water harvesting for agricultural purposes. Speaking in Baringo County Sunday, the head of state said that this is part of his government's plan to shift the country from over-dependency on rain-fed agriculture to irrigation in order to enhance food production. And as Mike Agongo reports, Ruto promised, among other things, to invest in the production of geothermal power in Baringo, Nakuru, and other neighboring counties.
Speaking during an interdenominational Thanksgiving service at Kabarnet ASK Showground, Baringo County, the head of state said his administration plans to construct 100 large dams in the country to boost water harvesting for agricultural purposes.
Tayari tumepanga dams 100 ya kwanza ziko katika mpango ya kufanyiwa ukarabati, ndio tutafute contractors.
Kenya has experienced cyclic droughts leading to a major shortage of food and pasture. Ambitious irrigation projects such as the 7.2 billion Galana Kulalu, a food security project by the government, has failed to yield much, something that Ruto plans to change.
Tuko hata na ile dam iliwekwa siasa mingi ya hapa Kimware na Aror. Hizo dam zote tutajenga na tutakuwa na maji ambayo itasaidia watu wa Baringo waweze kuwa na maji ya nyumbani, maji ya mifugo na vile vile maji ya irrigation.
Further, President William Ruto said the government will take firm measures to restore security in Kerio Valley. He said the government is committed to ending cattle rustling, to give residents a chance to engage in gainful economic activities.
Tukiongea saa hizi kuna mashule karibu 20 ambazo zilifungwa kwa sababu ya ukosefu wa usalama. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie, whatever it takes, we must make sure that we bring peace in the North Rift.
The president asked leaders from the region to shun divisive politics and work together. He explained that the government will also invest in the production of geothermal power in Baringo, Nakuru and other neighboring counties.
We have laid a firm foundation that our politics will be peaceful, will be respectful, and we can vote, and the next day we go back to work and we go back to our businesses.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua announced that the government will begin distributing relief food in Baringo County this Tuesday.
Mheshimiwa Rais, tuko na chakula kiasi fulani, tutaongea na viongozi na county commissioner tukubaliane, na ikifika siku ya Jumanne, Jumatano tutalete chakula katika county ya Baringo.
Kazi hiyo ya kukoroga amani, kupiganisha wananchi, bunduki left, right and center, hiyo kazi tutaikomesha. Wawache hiyo kazi kwa hiari, na kama hawatawacha kwa hiari, watawacha kwa lazima.
The leaders said the Kenya Kwanza administration is focused on delivering its pledges to the people. Mike Kagwongo, TV 47.
Wote wasimame. Moja na ulisikia vile.
And to County 047, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has issued a stern warning to those causing insecurity in Nairobi. This comes a day after the newly appointed Inspector General of Police Japheth Koome promised to deal with the issue immediately he begins his duties. Sakaja addressed the media in Dandora after attending a church service at AIPCA Church. The story was produced by Andrew Juma.
Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has weighed in on the runaway cases of insecurity in the city, now saying that he will meet the newly appointed Inspector General of Police Japheth Koome to discuss the same.
Lazima tusaidie vijana wetu waache mambo ya crime. Mambo ya insecurity imepanda sana Nairobi. Watu wanapigwa ngeta town. Watu wanapigwa ngeta mtaani. Akina mama hawezi tembea kutoka kwa soko. Yule Inspector General of Police mpya ambaye alikula Biblia aliapishwa juzi. Niliongea naye nikiwa Egypt na kutana naye kesho ili tuwe na suluhisho ya crime Nairobi hii. Na naambia vijana wangu, tafadhali wachaneni na hiyo mambo ya kupiga watu ngeta, kudunga watu visu, wachaneni na hiyo, mtaumia. We are very serious. There must be order in Nairobi.
The move by the governor coming after concerned Kenyans took to social media to highlight the brazen daytime acts by criminals in the city, some captured by security cameras. Sakaja now asking parents and guardians to be more hands-on in parenting to reduce cases of crime.
Ile pande ya county government tutafanya yetu, kuweka mataa, kuhakikisha tumemulika kila mahali, polisi tumekubaliana nao vile watachunga raia. Ukipatikana usikuje kutulilia. We cannot have a situation where Mtu ametoka nyumbani kwa sababu ya shilingi 200 ama 500 anauliwa, anapoteza maisha yake. Ukienda kwa hospitali watu wamejaa huko kwa sababu ya kudungwa visu. Is it right? Vijana wangu Nairobi, mnaniangusha.
In what will probably rattle boda operators, the governor has said boda operators will have to register in transport cooperatives, which will be allocated specific stages to pick, drop and wait for passengers.
Na hizo maboda tutaziregister, tujue hii ni ya pande hii na huyu ndio wako kwa hiyo boda. Tuliwapatia exercise, na najua watu wangu wa county mnajua kumap out circles, na pali sako inasimama na stage yake. Kama huko kwa stage umesimama tu ovyo ovyo, we'll deal with you.
The Constitution of Kenya 2010 states that security is a national function, with Article 245 outlining incidents when the Inspector General of Police may involve other persons in matters security. Article 245 in part states that the Cabinet Secretary responsible for police services may lawfully give a direction to the Inspector General with respect to any matter of policy for the National Police Service, but no person may give a direction to the Inspector General with respect to A, the investigation of any particular offence or offences, and B, the enforcement of the law against any particular person or persons. On Friday, the newly appointed Inspector General of Police issued a stern warning to those causing tension within the city, saying their days are already numbered. Issues of Dandora dumping site, poor health facilities, and the high rate of unemployment took the center stage, with the Nairobi boss promising to work on them as soon as possible.
Nilisema mkiona mtu akitupa takataka pahali haifai, unamrecord, unatuma, tukipiga yeye fine, hiyo pesa tunagawanya na wewe.
And still on matters dealing with insecurity, the long-term fighting between pastoralist communities of Karamoja of Uganda and Turkana of Kenya has come to an end after the leaders from Kenya and Uganda signed an MOU agreement to confiscate illegal weapons from those who own them in Uganda and Kenya. As our Turkana reporter Kitio Mika reports, the leaders who are involved in selling illegal weapons to the people in the border of Uganda and Kenya will be punished if they are found.
The Turkana and Karamojong communities have reaffirmed their commitment to the MOU on cross-border peace signed between Kenya and Uganda to end armed conflict and cattle rustling in the borderlands.
Our President, Dr. Samuel Ruto, has mentioned and has told us that never again shall a Turkana person, shall an Ugandan person, or people from East African community die because of criminals.
The leaders have given us the mandate to disarm, to engage anybody who will be found illegally armed.
We don't want you to engage in a crime, then at the end of the day, you start saying that you are being pushed to the wall.
In a peace meeting held in Kobebe, Uganda, and attended by government representatives and heads of security agencies from the two countries, the communities promised to support an operation to mop up illicit firearms, which will be spearheaded by the Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF.
And if you have a gun, which you think it's your child and you will never leave it in your territory.
The leaders in the crowd who see the cows that have been raided and brought to the crowd and you keep quiet, you will be arrested.
If you have the guns, you are the ones handing them out, then it's going to be wrong and we cannot entertain it. It will be wrong.
Leaders from Kenya and Uganda also agreed on the continued peaceful coexistence of the two communities and sharing of existing resources by pastoralists.
But I will not support my people to carry guns into Uganda.
Mbaya kizinaleta za Islam. Islam yote ameoa na watu wetu na kukusa watu wetu na hata wenyewe pia na wana. Sasa kwa hivyo mnafikiri hoja tukae kama hakuna silaha.
If they also go ahead and sell the guns to the Karamojong will use the same guns to raid them.
The communities were informed of a resolution leaders to fully support the disarmament effort and crack down on cattle rustling, which was said to be the cause of rising insecurity along the Kenya border with the Uganda.
You are being helped so that your animals survive the drought, but they should not come with guns. Simple.
Kitio Mika, TV 47, Kobebe in Uganda.
And still on the same matters, a section of leaders from Laikipia County have called for unity of purpose in order to help address insecurity issues facing the county. The leaders have promised to form a formidable force, saying the spate of insecurity occasioned by suspected livestock raiders and invasion of people's farms by illegal grazers from the neighboring Samburu and Isiolo counties was wanting and hence requires concerted efforts to tackle it. Chichi Josephine with that story.
The leaders, led by Governor Joshua Irungu, Senator John Kinyua, among other leaders, committed to forming a formidable force to tackle the issue of insecurity in the region that has for time forced innocent residents to spending sleepless nights for fear of invasions and attacks.
Tutakuwa tunaandamana pamoja, tunaenda kupigania. Na ndio unaona jana tulienda kwa cabinet secretary tukamwambia ati never again watu wetu watalala nje ati kwa sababu ya wizi wa ng'ombe au kwa sababu ya zile vita ziko kule. Hatutakubali tena.
Several incidents of attacks heightened tension, especially within Sosian, Olmoran and Githiga wards, where illegal grazers were invading people's farms in total disregard of the law, despite the presence of a multi-agency security personnel.
Na kwa sababu hapa Laikipia kumekuwa na shida ya mambo ya usalama, jana peke yake ukitembea pale Naibo, uende sehemu za survey, watu wamekuwa akipigwa wanahama. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali, tunaomba mheshimiwa Profesa Kindiki atushughulikie na ukora huu unafanyika hapo umalizwe mara moja.
Mambo ambayo yanatendeka katika Laikipia West, katika wodi ya Githiga na wodi ya Olmora na wodi ya Sosian, nataka kuambia wazazi kwamba hilo ni jambo la kukosesha binadamu heshima.
The leaders spoke at Limunga village in Marmanet ward during a Thanksgiving ceremony where they called on the President and Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki to intervene and deploy more security to conduct a thorough operation of disarming the bandits.
Tumesema hatutakubali tena, na tunajua Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto alipokuwa Samburu alisema hawa majangili they should not dare him, lakini wanaona ni kama anafanya mchezo. Sisi tunamwambia hapa Laikipia, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya William Samoei Ruto, tunakuunga mkono. Sisi Laikipia tunataka kufanywe operation, hawa wakora wanyang'anywe bunduki. Hiyo ndio sisi tunataka hapa Laikipia.
Chichi Josephine, TV 47.
Thank you, Chichi Josephine, for that. Now to some education matters. A government agency known as the School Equipment and Production Unit, SEPU, has developed a mobile laboratory in a bid to ease and boost the teaching of sciences, technology, engineering and mathematics subjects in both primary as well as secondary schools across the country. Sharon Baranga reports.
Recently, the government has been placing emphasis on students to take up courses in sciences, technology, engineering and mathematics. But this has proved to be a challenge in some schools that lack laboratories. As a result, the School Equipment and Production Unit is providing a solution to schools that do not have a laboratory.
We come up with this wonderful innovation in that it is a laboratory on wheels. As the name suggests, this is a mobile laboratory. You just push it and you lock it inside a classroom. It comes complete with the water supply tank. It is coming with the electricity supply. You can be able to use these sockets for physics. It is also coming complete with the gas cylinder inside here. So the gas cylinder is able to supply these two gas points. So the students can be able to use experiments for heating, demonstration purposes.
The organization that put together the mobile laboratory says it is quite affordable as there are no costs needed for installation.
So the beauty with this mobile laboratory is that it is there to supplement other existing laboratory infrastructure. It can also stand on its own and be able to help the learners and the teachers be able to study the STEM subjects. Because it is cheaper, because you don't have to disturb the flow or of a classroom doing the installations for the water system, the gas system, the piping work. Because the mobile laboratory is coming supplied, fitted with the basic gas system and the water system. So it is there to assist the learning of STEM subjects to make them to be easier for the learners.
The mobile laboratory is also meant to support the existing infrastructure in schools.
Because of the increase in the enrollment, we will discover that the other existing laboratory infrastructures are strained. So this one is able now to come in and support the existing laboratory infrastructure. And again, as I had mentioned, it is also there now to support, to make the learning of STEM subjects also easier and cheaper for the schools, because it is a cheaper solution. Instead of doing the standard laboratory installations, you can have these mobile laboratories in the classroom, and you can be able now to teach the STEM subjects. So the mobile laboratory can even be used inside the classroom, then you can wheel it out and use the same classroom for normal studies. So you don't have to have several infrastructures in terms of classrooms.
With the competency-based curriculum having introduced STEM subjects at primary level, mobile laboratories come in handy to bridge the gap in schools that might not be in a position to set up a full laboratory.
From grade 4, already students are being introduced to science and technology at grade 4. And that is having done grade 1, 2, 3, then around that grade 4, that comes in and runs up to grade 5, 6. So those early stages are the stages we don't want to miss. We are talking and thinking towards having STEM with us, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics being core. How do we do that? We want to lay a firm foundation, and that foundation is only laid at primary. And that is why you can see when you walk around Sepu, you will see we have specific kits for primary under CBC, for grade 4, 5, 6. And then we go to junior secondary. When we go to grade 7, 8, 9, we have where they're doing integrated science. We also have specific kits and manuals for that. And the same applies to senior secondary now. When learners are getting to grade 10, 11, 12, and they're now focusing on the sciences, pure sciences, biology, mathematics, biology, physics, chemistry. We have specific kits now at that level.
Inside the mobile laboratory package are supplies of laboratory chemicals, glassware, production of test tube rack, retort stand, and general apparatus that are vital for teaching of STEM subjects. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Thank you for that, Sharon Baranga. It reminds me of those good old days when we really had to run from a class to the laboratories just to catch you space in the whole slot for that. And to some other matters, President William Ruto's principal secretaries nominees will, starting Monday, appear before the respective National Assembly departmental committees for vetting in an exercise that will run until Friday. The vetting of the nominees coincides with a court hearing tomorrow challenging the appointment on grounds of failing to meet inclusivity and regional balancing.
President William Ruto's final push to shape his cabinet comes alive on Monday when his 51 principal secretaries nominees appear before the National Assembly's various departmental committees for vetting to determine their suitability to serve. On a busy week in Parliament, 10 nominees will be facing MPs in their respective committees on day one of vetting, unlike cabinet secretaries who are vetted by the Committee on Appointments, chaired by National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula.
Yale yaliyojiri wakati ambapo mawaziri walienda bungeni ni aibu kubwa kwa taifa la Kenya. Wote walikuja na wakapitisha kila mtu. Hivi kwamba watu wakajiuliza ni kwa nini basi kuna vetting. Ile imekuwa kwa kizungu conveyor belt.
PS nominee for the State Department of Cabinet Affairs Julius Korir will be the first to be vetted by the Departmental Committee on National Administration and Internal Affairs, chaired by Narok West MP Gabriel Tongoyo. Others to be vetted by their various respective committees are PS nominees Philip Hasame, Dr. Chris Kipto, Raymond Omolo, Harry Kimtai, James Muhati, Ambassador Julius Bitok, Engineer Peter Tum, Aurelia Rono, and Dr. Josephine Boru. An activist, Frederick Bikeri, has moved to court through lawyer Dunstan Omari, saying the list of the PS nominees does not reflect gender balance, regional balance, tribal balance, and inclusivity.
Katiba imesema kwamba lazima wale watakaochaguliwa waweze kuwa ni watu ambao wamecomply na chapter 6. Ethics zao, maadili yao yawe ni maadili safi. Wengi wa wale hawajapitisha hiyo test. pili, waangalie sura ya taifa. Kabila za Kenya ziko zaidi ya 45. Bwana Rais, sababu alikuwa na wabunge, alikuwa na nafasi 51, hangepeana kila kabila PS moja, waliosalia aweze kujipa yeye mwenyewe. Kwa hivyo haionyeshi sura ya taifa.
As the ministry's accounting officers, the nominees are expected to be well versed on key issues affecting the nation, among them insecurity, drought, and how to tame the high cost of living. Apol Kamal, TV47.
Thanks, Apollo, for that. Now, education stakeholders in Trans Nzoia County are calling on the government to incorporate culture and traditions in education syllabus in order to strengthen African culture. The move comes at a time when Western culture has been termed to be the biggest undoing in thriving African culture. Our reporter Boniface Baraza has the details.
Hundreds of students of Equip Africa College of Medical and Health Sciences Kitale commemorating the Cultural Week. The event provided an opportunity to every student to showcase their cultural diversity. It's evident Kenya is rich in African diverse culture.
Kwa chakula yenye tumepika hata kabla hatujawakilisha kwa judges, wenzetu wameonja kilikuwa kitamu.
Different activities we've been promoting our talents, including from sports, cultural songs. We have the modern songs.
Na sisi kama wanafunzi tuna furaha iliyokuu sana, maana tumeweza kudhihirisha kamili utamaduni wetu.
In recent days, Western culture has been termed to be the biggest undoing in thriving of African culture, with many Kenyans embracing the Western culture at the expense of their own.
Tumejivaa kirasmi kama walivyofanya wazee wetu wa zamani. Kama enzi zilikuanga ngozi za wanyama, na inavaliwanga wakati kuna sehemu vijana wanatairishwa, wakati tunapeana wasichana, na maybe tuseme wakati tunafanya kuchunga ng'ombe pia huko tunavaanga hizi.
Hakuna siku mila itaipitwa na wakati, hata ije nini ama nini fanyike, kwa sababu tunafuata njia iliyotengenezwa kitambo na babu zetu.
The institution's principal Stephen Ole Satima believes there is need for culture to be incorporated in education curriculum for it to be inculcated among Kenyans' children at an early stage.
It's important that we embrace culture. We incorporate culture in our education system right from the basic education level, and it's a good thing because it's only culture that will unify even the globe.
Cultural is a social dynamic event that promotes the national cohesion. It's high time that we go back to our culture.
The colorful event saw winners taking home prizes, as well as being crowned Mr. and Miss Equip Africa College, and introduction of Freshers Night. Boniface Baraza, TV47.
From Trans Nzoia County to what is happening in other counties after this short break, you're watching TV47 Weekend.
TV47, the home of untold stories.
Naitwa Orengo Peter Omasaja. Hii playpet kuna ujumbe nilitumiwa. It was on 2020. Nikatumiwa hiyo ujumbe, kuna playpet through SMS. Then nikaanzia pale. Sasa hata sikuwa na attach hii simu smartphone. Nikaanza tu kuplace *474# na nikafuata details vile ziko. Kunipapa sana, mimi naona si kampuni ile inakata watu sana. Juu mimi naibelieve sana. Na mimi naona inanipea kaunga. Yeah. Sasa kile kitu naweza ambia wenzangu, hii ni kampuni ya ukweli na nimejaribu for 2 years, but Mungu leo ameniokania, ameonekana. Nimeshinda simu.
Authentic, natural, planned. transforming. Endless benefits. Slaty, purely Kenyan. Buy now on Jumia or Amazon.
Watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Right, 30 minutes past the top of the hour. Thank you for your patronage so far. Let's continue updating you more. 28,000 families in Siaya County are staring at starvation after failed rains in the area, even as Wajir County government launches a food distribution program across all 6 sub-counties in the area. Collins Lusweti with a closer look at the stories of the counties.
28,000 households are in danger of facing starvation in Siaya County due to the ongoing drought in the area. County Commissioner Jim Joka says decreased rainfall in the region has seen little production of food. Speaking in Rarieda and Ugenya constituencies, the County Commissioner says the county should be included among other counties in dire need of government's relief support due to ongoing drought. On his part, Information and Technology Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo stated that the government will work with elected leaders in the county regardless of party affiliations.
Short rains tumekuwa tukipokea, lakini inaonekana haitatosha kuhakikisha kwamba mimea yetu itakuwa sawa sawa. Kwa hivyo ikifika mwezi wa Disemba tunaona ya kwamba tutakuwa na watu 28,000 households that will require relief food support.
Willing to work with all leaders at the county government based on the level of cooperation that is prerequisite within the 2 levels of government. We will also work with all elected leaders and also non-elected leaders on issues of the economy so that we can help our people.
Elsewhere, the county government of Wajir has launched a food distribution program targeting all 6 sub-counties in the area. The county is among the 29 badly affected counties in the country, with 429,000 people reported to be food insecure and in need of humanitarian assistance. The area has seen no rainfall in 5 seasons now. The area governor Ahmed Abdullahi says they will need support from national government and other humanitarian aid organizations to rescue the situation.
Jua tunapitia shida ya ukame hapa. Haijanyesha vizuri kwa msimu kama 5 hivi kwa sasa. Na watu wako na njaa sana kila mahali. Hata hii chakula ambaye tuta launch leo haitatosha.
In Bungoma County, the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture Mithika Linturi is expected to visit the county tomorrow to initiate plans for reviving operations at Zoya Sugar Company. Speaking at a church service in the area, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula assured residents that the new government is determined to boost agriculture and livelihoods of the people in the county.
Na nataka kuomba wa Kenya, vile serikali imeanza, tuunge mkono. Tumepata kama uchumi mezoroteka kabisa, lakini nia na uwezo wa kufufua uchumi iko. Tayari rais ametuma waziri wake atakuwa hapa next week kuja kwa mambo ya Nzoia na kuenda kusaidia kuwaleta kiwanda cha majani chai kule Mount Elgon.
Collins Lusweti, TV 47.
And away from that, for a long time, the issue of inadequate teachers in the northeastern region has been a thorn in the flesh of both pupils and students as it affects their performance in national examinations. Speaking in Garissa during the launch of Young Muslim Girls High School, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Nuruddin Haji, has called on locals to take up the teaching profession in order to bridge the huge gap that currently exists. Additionally, the local leaders who glorify terrorism have been condemned.
Mimi ningependa kuhimiza, tafadhalini wazazi, mjaribu kuwahimiza watoto wetu wakuwe walimu. Tuna shida sana Northeastern yote kwa mambo ya walimu. Kila mtu anataka kuwa nurse, kila mtu anataka kwenda procurement. Juzi tulikuwa na watu ya TSC wanasema hakuna walimu ya kutosha, hata kama tumepewa as Northeastern na North special allowances, hakuna watu wanataka kusoma wala kuwa walimu, na hiyo itaturudisha nyuma sana. Kwa hivyo naomba tutafute namna ya kuhakikisha kwa hii program ya Young Muslim kufundisha watu yetu na kuwa encourage.
And into a special piece tonight, pastoralists in Kajiado County have been counting losses due to the unceasing drought. Residents in the remote villages now in the grip of death as their livestock, which is the main source of livelihood, die in thousands. A cow that sold on a normal day retail at 70,000 Kenyan shillings now selling at 500 Kenyan shillings in major markets, with efforts to relocate their livestock to other parts of the country proving futile. TV47's Andrin Kilemi traveled to the remote villages of Kajiado County, where the once grazing fields have turned into dumping sites for dead livestock.
From humans feeding on carcasses of animals to even the most resilient wild animals dying due to lack of water and pasture, Kenya's worst drought in 4 decades has sent a chilling reminder that the victims of harmful effects of climate change are not necessarily future generations. And with no end in sight of the drought, those hit hard tell sad stories of their fight for survival. In the deserted landscape of Kajiado County, residents count losses. The region has had 4 failed rain seasons, leaving an already arid land parched and lifeless. This resulting to the death of thousands of animals, while pushing millions of people to the brink of starvation.
Tunashindwa tunalisha watu ama tunalisha ng'ombe.
Every new day carries with it a painful reminder of the previous days and months with absolutely no rain in sight. It is sorrow for both man and livestock.
Nakuta mtu alikuwa na ng'ombe 200 hata sasa hata hana hata moja.
Death roams all over Kunchu village at the border of Kenya and Tanzania, about 130 kilometers south of Kajiado town. Life here is a game of chance. Locals struggle to make it each day as the drought moves from bad to worse. Kasano Naringitim, a mother of 8, takes us through her cowshed that was once home to over 300 cows. The herd of cattle, she says, died one after the other, leaving behind an almost empty shed with only 30 cows now fighting for survival.
We only depend on the cows and they are all dying. They are dying.
The Maasai people have historically depended on livestock in meeting their basic needs. Livestock is not only their main source of food, but also a marker of social status. Kasano says that out of her 8 children, only 3 are in school, as she is unable to pay school fees for all of them. Her only source of income slowly dying.
Our children no longer go to school. A child is sent back home as soon as they report to school because of school fees. When I take the child back and beg them to readmit them, the teachers send them back the next day because I beg them, saying that I will sell my livestock on Friday. When I try selling my cow on Friday, I fail.
In the nearby Zion preschool, teachers are struggling to get children to pay attention in class. In fact, some of the pupils are here not to study, but to get a meal. Their teacher Jacqueline Lerionga says in her class alone, 3 of her students are below the ideal school-going age of 4, but their parents have opted to send them to school due to lack of food at home.
Mtoto sasa kama huyu akisimia ni mbaya. Sasa ikabidi hata sisi walimu tunawapokea hawa watoto hata kama hawajafika umri wa kuja shule, angalau wapate chakula hapa. Ako kauji ya kuyashikilia.
The Swahili saying mgeni njoo mwenyeji apone, loosely translated to let the guest come so that the host or hostess may benefit, is plausible here, as the kids will not only enjoy a cup of uji today, but mandazis too. And that will most likely see them through the rest of the day. Same scenes are replicated at the nearby Kunchu Primary School. As soon as the bell rings, students queue for the little that is available for lunch. Sometimes the food runs out, and today is clearly one of those days. Those that miss food make do by sharing from the same plate with their friends.
Wakati hata chakula ni kidogo, hata hapa shuleni, wale waliopata wa kwanza na wameona wale wako pale nyuma wajapata, imekuwa huru kwamba lazima nimjali mwenzangu kwamba yeye pia hajapata. Kwa hivyo hata wakati tulipopata chakula, maana tumepata juzi chakula, lazima tujue kwamba lazima sisi wenyewe turudiane, wenyewe tujisaidie.
In Kajiado's biggest livestock market, Bisil, farmers rush to dispose their starving animals to buy food and other necessities. The prices of livestock here are, however, so low that it seems unbelievable. A cow that would on a normal day easily fetch 70,000 Kenya shillings now goes for 500 shillings only.
Pesa imekuwa shida kupata, hata ukipeleka kwa soko hakuna kitu unapata. Unauza mbuzi 300, 500.
When I take my cow to the market on Friday, it hardly gets a buyer, and the cow is brought back home.
Sometimes desperate farmers transport their livestock from home to the market with the hope of making some money. However, upon arrival, the animals breathe their last, leaving the owner confused.
Mtu unaweza leta ng'ombe yako, hakuna mtu unaweza uzia. Hii ni mzigo ya ng'ombe ambayo wenyewe walilete, na mtu kwa sababu unadaiwa gari, unabidi utoroke uache hiyo ng'ombe.
A countless number of pastoralists in Kajiado County continue to count their losses on a daily as vultures scour the air spaces to feed on the remains of the trail of carcasses, leaving behind a pungent of smell that poses as a health hazard to the locals.
Kwa sababu hapa ile harufu iko hapa, mtu hata hawezi kaa kwa soko.
As their internal organs bask in the sun, the air paints nothing but a pilgrimage of death. Night has fallen, and just like any other mother, Jane Ngoshumu has to prepare a meal for her family. Her family of 10, comprising her 8 children who are just back from school after a day's-long activity. Tonight, she says they will only have ugali and tea for supper.
Kabla ya kiangazi, tulikuwa tunabadilisha chakula. Kwa maana tulikuwa na masiwa, wakati mwingine kama hakuna ugali, tunakunywa masiwa. Ama kuna mboga, mtu ameenda kwa soko, akapata pesa, akaleta mboga, tunapiga na mboga. Na sasa imeshikika. Hakuna masiwa ya kuweka kwa turungi. Ni turungi tu utapika, sasa ile umepata. Na ugali unampatia watoto. Asubuhi yake wanaamka wanaenda shule.
Kwa hivyo sasa kama sufuria hii naona ni kidogo,
ni kidogo na watoto ni wengi, lakini mtu angalau apate tu kidogo, asilale njaa. Najua wakilala bila kula ni lazima usiku waamke walie. Na tunaleta maji na wapa.
Maji ndio wanakunywa?
Alafu wanalala.
And as soon as food is ready, it is served.
Lava. Legenda. Legenda hivi. Kaya. Ndio ngado yangu roro. Ndasa gawa ya msee niweka hapa. Alafu niwapatie kwanza watoto. Watoto wamalizane, mimi nichukue ya msee nimpeleke. Lakini hata yeye anauliza kama wa kwanza watoto wote wamepata. Na mimi ndio wa mwisho kula. Kama imeisha, ni mimi ndio nimepika. Najua imeisha.
The drought isn't just occasioning a humanitarian crisis. It has wreaked havoc on wild animals, with conservationists now expressing fears that vulnerable species could be wiped out.
Mojawapo wa wanyama ambapo ndio wa mwisho kufa kwa ajili ya kiangazi na ukosefu wa maji ni swala kama hii. Hii ina uwezo wa kusurvive kwa muda mrefu na kwa wakati mwingi. Lakini kwa ajili ya kiangazi ya namna hii tunaona sasa zimeanza kufa, na inamaanisha kuna uhatari mkubwa kwa ajili ya wanyama wengine wa pori.
In a period of 3 months, at least 30 giraffes have died in Nasaru Olosho Wildlife Conservancy. Carcasses of giraffes, zebras and gazelles have become a defining image of Kajiado's drought.
Mpaka saa hii mzee Kobe, ambapo kwa kweli kifo chake ni ngumu, anaanza kuadhirika kwa sababu ya matatizo ya majani mabichi.
Dead animals here can lie on the barren dryland for days and even months. And the fact that there are no scavengers to clean up rotting carcasses only highlights the magnitude of the unceasing drought.
Mpaka fisi wenyewe ambapo ndio wakusafisha maeneo na mazingara hawana haja ya kula nyama za vitu kama hizo. Kwa hivyo misoga kama hii unaacha unakuta iko mzima tu mpaka mwisho wake ioze yote, kwa sababu hazihitaji hata fisi hali, hakuna chochote. Hata umbwa akikuja ni kuuma kidogo tu na kuacha kwa sababu ya ubaya usio na uzuri wowote katika wanyama waliokufa kwa ajili ya kiangazi.
The arid and semi-arid regions of Kenya have endured 3 severe droughts in the last decade. The current drought, however, has been the most severe, with widespread loss of livelihoods. But just why does a country like Kenya experience drought cycles as it does?
Kenya, in fact, for instance, is known to churn a lot of good work when it comes to policy, formulation. But when it comes to the implementation, zero. In fact, it is said Kenya develops policies and Ethiopia implements. We have the best green economy and climate finance policy in Kenya. We have the best national climate change action plan. That is 2018 to 2023. The best. We participated. It was actually a very consultative document, and we said, yes, we have dealt with it. We have the best climate change law in Africa and in the world. Climate Change Act 2016. The whole framework on implementation, but all of them gathered dust in the shelves of our ministries and our government.
And although drought is majorly categorized as a natural occurrence, experts say what Kenya is experiencing is 80% a result of human activity.
Kule kuchoma kwa taka na pia hata kule kutumia magari mabofu. Kwa mfano, kuna swala ambalo linatamausha mno katika barabara zetu nchini Kenya. Katika gari 10 ambazo zinapita katika barabara, sehemu fulani ya barabara, 7 kati ya zile 10 unapata kwamba zinafukisha, zinatoa umoshi mwingi mno. Kwa hiyo unaweza ukahesabu kwa siku ni umoshi unatoshanaje ambao unaingia katika anga letu.
As the effects of drought continue to ravage different parts of the country, Kenyans can only hope for a lifelong solution.
We must look for long-term sustainable mechanisms to deal with this effect of climate change.
Andrin Kilemi, TV47, Kajiado County.
TV47, the home of untold stories.
Orengo Peter Omasaja. Hii playpet kuna ujumbe nilitumiwa. It was on 2020. Nikatumiwa hiyo ujumbe, kuna playpet through SMS. Then nikaanzia pale. Sasa hata sikuwa na attach hii simu smartphone. Nikaanza tu kuplace *474# na nikafuata details vile ziko. Kunipapa sana, mimi naona si kampuni ile inakata watu sana. Juu mimi na believe sana. Na mimi naona inanipea kaunga. Sasa kile kitu naweza ambia wenzangu Hii ni kampuni ya ukweli na nimejaribu for 2 years, but Mungu leo ameniokania, ameonekana. Nimeshinda simu.
Looking for business ideas to inspire your innovation?
I'm an artist, but I mostly consider myself as a creative entrepreneur because I'm into this to make money.
Looking for business trends that will help inform your decisions?
Right now, the primary problem is you're experiencing rising interest rates. So this is sucking out money from all economies at the same time.
Well,
this is The Grind,
where we provide a voice for your business and we bring the entrepreneurial culture to your home. See you every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
World of sports, Nairobi City Stars earlier today thrashed Gor Mahia 3-1 in a friendly match staged at the Nyayo National Stadium as clubs prepare for the start of the 2022-2023 FKF Premier League season. Gor Mahia started the match strongly as Lloyd Kavuchi scored the opener for Kogalo in the first half, but Peter Opio Pinches scored an equalizer through a penalty. Vincent Rutino extended the lead for Simba wa Nairobi in the 72nd minute as Newton Ochieng scored the third and winning goal for Nicola Muyoti's side at the 82nd minute. And some rugby action. KCB Rugby Football Club made football action late work for nondescript to win the final floodlit match with scores of 23 as they were crowned as champions at the Impala grounds. 2 penalty kicks and 2 successful converted tries from flanker Andrew Amonde and Bob Wahinya were enough to seal the victory for the Bunkers, who won the title for the 4th consecutive time. Speaking after the match, KCB RFC forward Davis Chenge, who was also named the tournament's most valuable player, stated that the team cohesion and hard work was the driving force behind the team as they vowed to maintain the momentum in the upcoming seasons. The floodlit tournament paves way for the 2022-2023 Kenya Cup season, slated to kick off on 26 November this year.
It's a good benchmark, especially winning the pre-season tournament. It sets a target for the upcoming Kenya Cup season. I believe expect more from KCB. As I said, it's a good feeling winning the pre-season tournament. At least going forward, it's a positive mindset, a positive challenge ahead. So I believe Kenya Cup, tajipanga, 1 game at a time.
Happy for the win. I think we had to dig very deep for that to win. But the competition of the game is going. The teams are playing well. So kudos to Nondis for giving us a run for our money. But we're happy to have won the game at the end of the day. Yes, I think we are ready. We just need to polish up a few areas. I think we are making a lot of mistakes in the green zone, and that is costing us because we're losing a lot of points. So if we're able to just polish on that area, then we are good to go.
Rugby to the game of kings, that is golf. The inaugural US Kids NCBA Nairobi Local Tour Golf Tournament kicked off today at the Thika Sports Club with 121 boys and girls aged between 5 and 18 years competed in 14 age-based categories. Ishan Patel of VetLab won the boys 15 to 18 years category with a gross score of 93, while in the girls category, Antonio Mbuthia of Muthaiga Golf Club won with a score of 99 gross. The best score of the day was played by Raul Nairobi's Mwathi Gisheru, who shot a wonderful 1 under par 72, winning in the boys 11 years category, while 12-year-old Kristen Mine had a hole in the par 3 hole. Speaking during the prize-giving ceremony, NCBA Group Managing Director John Gashora stated that the company is focused on being part of the development of golf in the country by nurturing young talent in the sport.
A golf club somewhere in January, they qualified